just in relation to a couple more points that I wanted to bring forward in relation to the inspection. The client did definitely have a few points that they were very, very positive about. The first one was the entrance to the property. I believe that because it was the first thing that they saw walking up, they were definitely in awe of the fact that it did have that custom timber door, which was 2.5 by 1.2 meters high. So it is a very big standout to them, which they definitely loved. And then the fact that it is on the hinge, it does give it that really beautiful natural light once it is open, and then it looks out to that beautiful view, which they definitely did mention was something that you would have had to have thought about, and they could appreciate all the time and effort it did to have that type of design, to be able to walk through, be able to see past the dining table, and then see that beautiful acreage lifestyle with all of those trees in the backyard. So that was definitely a positive point that they wanted to make out. The second one was the block itself. Although it is on a sloping block, which could be classified, I guess, as a negative to some people, they did actually love the fact that it was on a sloping block, just because it did give you more of that mountain view, and then the trees more of that eye height, purely because obviously if it was a flat block, you'd be looking more at the trunks of the trees, whereas once it's sloped down, you're looking at more of the tree line, which they did definitely find as a positive. And also the fact that it is on a 4,000 square meter block, which is very unheard of these days, especially the price point that you are willing to sell. So they were very, very, very approving of that. There was just a couple things that they did mention as like a negative, but overall still a very positive inspection. But a negative was definitely that pendant light. It was the first thing you saw. Unfortunately, you do open that beautiful door and you have such a positive with the view, but then that is in that line of view. So they do just kept mentioning it, especially being such a beautiful pendant. Would definitely try and getting, well, I wouldn't even say try, I would be getting that one replaced. Whether or not you'd be able to get the exact same make, or just to be switching them out and doing maybe one big pendant rather than 3 small ones, but definitely something to be updating before we do go to sale or even settlement. That is something that is going to be, unfortunately, what we're going to have to get fixed. Another negative that they did mention was the driveway down to the shed. So although we did confirm with them and advise with them that it is something that was still under construction and that was how you were planning on leaving it, it was just like a bit of a negative because the house is being sold as a fully finished property. However, they believe that leaving just gravel as the driveway down to the shed is a bit of an unfinished product, and would prefer it to be concrete. I understand that's not something that you guys as the sellers are willing to do. It is just a negative that they were wanting to give as feedback. Whether or not some other people might have that same negative, just to them, they would prefer it to be a finished concrete driveway rather than just gravel. But apart from that, all in all, definitely an overall great experience, a very positive experience. And yeah, they are very, very, very approving of the property.